Kansas City, Missouri. We just arrived in the 30s. The rest of the United States is choking on the dust of the Great Depression. Across the continent, factories are shuttered, millions of men are standing in endless breadlines, and the agricultural heartland is being blown away by the catastrophic storms of the Dust Bowl. But you are not standing in a broken, starving city. You are standing in the geographical center of America, and the city around you is absolutely roaring. The concrete mixers are churning, the whiskey is flowing like water, and the nightclubs do not have clocks on the walls. This is the Paris of the Plains. It is a city utterly immune to the Depression, heavily insulated by an incredibly powerful, deeply corrupt political machine run by a single man who holds no elected office, Boss Tom Pendergast. Under his iron-fisted rule, Kansas City is a wide-open town. The police look the other way. The mob runs the gambling parlors, and the city is experiencing a staggering architectural and cultural renaissance financed by vice and kickbacks. Using AI trained on historical archives, 1930s newsreels, the records of the Mutual Musicians Foundation, and the architectural blueprints of the New Deal era, we have meticulously reconstructed the exact moment Kansas City forged its legendary identity. We are going to walk through the sweltering, gritty reality of the West Bottoms, feel the rhythm of the nation's greatest garment factories, and step into the smoke-filled, segregated jazz clubs that changed American music forever. Experience 24 hours in the undisputed capital of the American Midwest. The day begins at 5 a.m. You wake up in a working-class neighborhood on the bluffs overlooking the Missouri River. The air is already heavy and uncomfortably warm. It is August 1936, and the Midwest is locked in the grip of the most devastating, lethal heatwave in modern North American history. You walk down the steep, winding stairs toward the West Bottoms, the massive industrial floodplain sitting at the confluence of the Kansas and Missouri rivers. You smell it long before you see it. It is the incredibly dense, pungent odor of manure, wet earth, and raw industry. You are looking at the Kansas City Stockyards. Spread out across hundreds of acres are a maze of wooden pens and elevated walkways holding tens of thousands of cattle, hogs, and sheep. This is the economic engine that built the city. Kansas City processes millions of animals a year, second in size only to the legendary Union Stockyards in Chicago. The noise is a deafening chorus of bellowing livestock, shouting drovers, and the sharp whistles of the railmen. Dozens of steam locomotives from a vast network of competing railroads are chugging into the yards, offloading cattle brought in from the deepest corners of Texas, Oklahoma, and the Western Plains. You watch as thousands of laborers, a diverse, exhausted mix of European immigrants and African American workers, head onto the brutal killing floors of the packing houses. The work is bloody, the heat inside the plants is suffocating, and the profit margins are staggering. The livestock barons trade their fortunes inside the massive brick Kansas City Livestock Exchange building overlooking the pens, entirely insulated from the blood and the heat below. By 8 a.m., you leave the stockyards and take the 12th Street incline up into the heart of downtown. You board a bright yellow and cream-colored electric streetcar operated by the Kansas City Public Service Company. The city boasts one of the most extensive, efficient streetcar networks in the entire country, with over 300 miles of track connecting the sprawling suburbs in Kansas directly to the downtown Missouri core. You step off at 8th and Broadway. You are in the Garment District. In 1936, this single neighborhood manufactures over 25% of all the clothing worn in the United States. Only New York City produces more. The massive, multi-story brick warehouses around you are buzzing with the sound of thousands of industrial sewing machines. You look through the large factory windows and see the section system in full effect. Unlike the old days of master tailors building a suit from scratch, these factories run on pure, rapid assembly line efficiency. One woman sews nothing but collars all day long. Another sews only cuffs. The crown jewel of this district is the Donnelly Garment Company, founded by Nell Donnelly Reed. She revolutionized the industry by creating the Nellie Don dress, affordable, stylish, incredibly well-made clothing for middle-class housewives. Despite the Great Depression raging across the rest of the country, the seamstresses in these buildings are employed, they are paid, and they are clothing the entire American West from these very brick lofts. By noon, the August heat reaches an absolute, terrifying peak. The historical record for this day in 1936 is a staggering, record-breaking 113 degrees Fahrenheit. There is virtually no air conditioning in the world yet. The asphalt on the streets is literally soft and sticky under your leather shoes. People are desperate. You watch a Salvation Army truck roll slowly down the street, distributing penny ice. Massive blocks of frozen water sold for a single cent a pound to the city's poorest residents just to keep them alive. Men are wrapping wet rags around their necks and the steering wheels of their Ford V8S. But despite the lethal heat, the skyline of Kansas City is exploding upward. You walk past a massive, roaring construction site. Boss Tom Pendergast has implemented the 10-year plan, a massive public works bond that has turned the city into a forest of steel and scaffolding. You look up at the stunning, newly completed Kansas City Power and Light Building, a towering Art Deco masterpiece stretching 34 stories into the sky, its intricate stonework gleaming in the brutal sun. Just down the street, the new City Hall and the Jackson County Courthouse are rising. But there is a dark, undeniable catch to this architectural golden age. Look closely at the foundations. Every single civic building, every newly paved street, and every sidewalk in this city is being poured using concrete from the ready-mixed concrete company. Who owns that company? Tom Pendergast. The political machine dictates that if a contractor wants a city job, they buy Tom's concrete. In exchange, Tom provides thousands of jobs to the working class, keeping them fed during the Depression. And in return for those jobs, the working class votes exactly how Tom tells them to. Ghost voters, stuffed ballot boxes, and intimidation are rampant. You are standing in a city that is quite literally built on a foundation of brilliant, unashamed corruption. By 3 p.m., you seek shelter from the deadly sun inside the grandest interior space in the Midwest, Union Station. You walk through the massive front doors into the Grand Hall. The ceiling stretches 95 feet above your head, featuring spectacular 3,000-pound bronze chandeliers. It is a masterpiece of Beaux-Arts architecture. The station is a roaring, echoing canyon of humanity. Over 600,000 passengers pass through these halls annually. Soldiers, businessmen, Hollywood actors, and desperate farmers looking for work all intersect on these polished marble floors. But as you walk near the front entrance, you notice locals pointing to the heavy limestone blocks on the exterior wall. Just 3 years ago, in 1933, this exact spot was the site of the infamous Union Station massacre. A team of FBI agents and local police were escorting a convicted mobster named Frank Nash back to prison. They were ambushed in the parking lot by gangsters wielding Thompson submachine guns. Nash and 4 lawmen were slaughtered in a hail of bullets in broad daylight. The event shocked the nation and forced the federal government to drastically expand the powers of the FBI. The bullet marks on the walls serve as a quiet, chilling reminder that the wide-open town comes with a heavy price in blood. By 7 p.m., the sun finally dips below the horizon and the suffocating heat drops to a manageable warmth. The neon signs across the downtown core flicker to life. You step into a crowded, high-end chop house. Because of the massive stockyards in the West Bottoms, Kansas City has access to the absolute best, prime cuts of beef in the world. You order the city's signature dish, a thick, perfectly charred Kansas City strip steak, dry-aged and served with a side of heavy potatoes. At the table next to you, a local ward boss is holding court. He is smoking a cigar, handing out small envelopes of cash, arranging to pay the medical bills of a sick constituent, and quietly ensuring that a local speakeasy won't be raided by the police tonight. This is how the Pendergast machine actually works on the ground floor. It isn't just violence, It is a complex, highly efficient system of social welfare and favors that keeps the city running smoothly, while the bosses skim the profits from the top. By 10 p.m., you leave the wealthy downtown districts and take a streetcar southeast. You are heading to the undisputed cultural epicenter of the American Midwest. You step off the streetcar at the intersection of 18th and Vine. This is the heart of Kansas City's segregated African-American community. Because of the city's strict redlining and racial covenants, black citizens are forced to live, shop, and socialize within these specific borders. But within this confinement, they have built an incredibly self-sufficient, wealthy, and culturally explosive neighborhood. You walk down the street and the music hits you like a physical wave. There are over 100 nightclubs, dance halls, and cabarets operating in this district. Because Boss Pendergast controls the police, the liquor laws are completely ignored. The clubs here stay open all night, every night. You pay a small cover charge and walk into the Reno Club. The air is so thick with cigarette smoke and sweat that it stings your eyes. The room is packed to the walls with people drinking bootleg gin and dancing furiously. On the small wooden stage, magic is happening. You are watching the Count Basie Orchestra. The music they are playing is completely different from the rigid, highly orchestrated big band jazz of New York or Chicago. This is Kansas City jazz. It is heavily influenced by the blues. It relies on a heavy, driving 4/4 swing beat, and most importantly, it relies on riffs, short, repetitive, infectious musical phrases that the band memorizes and plays by ear, allowing the soloists to improvise wildly over the top. You watch Count Basie sitting at the piano, his hands flying across the keys with effortless, restrained brilliance. The brass section blasts a wall of sound that rattles the glasses on the tables. Standing by the back door of the club, you might spot a 16-year-old local kid named Charlie Parker, clutching an alto saxophone, watching the masters intently, absorbing the very rhythms that he will soon use to invent bebop and change the entire trajectory of global music. By 2 a.m., the formal sets at the clubs end, but the music does not stop. You follow the musicians down the street to a modest brick building at 1823 Highland Avenue. This is the Mutual Musicians Foundation, the headquarters for the Black Musicians Union, Local 627. Inside, the legendary Kansas City jam sessions are beginning. Musicians from all over the country, having finished their paying gigs, gather here to challenge each other. They stand in a circle, calling out a key and a tempo, and they battle. A saxophonist will play a solo for 20 minutes straight, trying to outplay, out-innovate, and outswing the man next to him. If you lose the groove, the other musicians politely but firmly play you off the stage. These sessions will last until the sun comes up tomorrow morning. You stand in the corner, a glass of whiskey in your hand, listening to the greatest artistic minds of a generation, forging a purely American art form in the middle of the night. By 4 a.m., you step out of the Union Hall and back into the warm, quiet streets. The sky to the east is just beginning to hint at the coming dawn. You look back toward the towering, illuminated skyscrapers of the downtown core, and then down the street toward the quiet brick facades of the jazz clubs. You realize that Kansas City in 1936 is a breathtaking paradox. It is a city that ignored a global depression by embracing absolute political corruption. It funded a dazzling skyline with concrete monopolies, and it birthed one of the greatest musical movements in human history through the profits of illicit bootlegging and illegal gambling. In just 3 years, the federal government will finally catch up to boss Tom Pendergast. He will be indicted for massive tax evasion in 1939, the political machine will shatter, the police will crack down, and the wide-open era of the jazz clubs will come to a sudden, sobering halt. But tonight, the machine is still running, the concrete is still pouring, and the saxophone is still swinging. The gangsters and the politicians eventually faded into prison cells and history books, but the stunning architecture they built still defines the skyline, and the music they inadvertently funded still echoes across the world. This video is brought to you by the Paladin Learn History app.